welcome Jess Salomon!
This is amazing. I am so happy that you're all here. I've reached that stage in comedy where this is all I have. And I live here in New York, but I'm originally from Canada. Yeah? Oh, thank you. You guys know Canada. Yeah, you know, it's a lot like America if it had grown up with parents that loved it. And good night, everyone. No. I mean, that's why it's boring. You know what I mean? Nobody cares about the stories of a kid that grows up with two loving parents. Who cares? Right? But America's got stories. Wow. Damn. Just the alligator-related material coming out of Florida alone is enough to build a nation. Right? This is a content creator country. It's a lot. It's a lot to keep up with, honestly. There's so many channels. People are like, did you see the documents hanging out in Trump's bathroom? It's like, no, I'm still trying to keep up with George Santos stealing puppies from the Amish. Like, I can't keep track of everything. Canada's one channel. It's PBS. That's the whole thing, right? I was doing a show recently in New York, and the whole audience was white. Okay, and you know what happens here. And there was one black guy in the crowd, just one, and there was a black comic on stage, and he was really excited to see that guy. We all were, you know. And he asked him where he was from, and I think he expected the guy to say Brooklyn or the Bronx, but that guy said Toronto, and the wave of disappointment that swept through the crowd was so swift, it turned him into a white woman. It was impressive. I mess with people all the time about Canada. I'll say anything. Lately, I've been telling people that in Canada, we call M&Ms WWs. They're like, yeah, we knew that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Sometimes I have the host introduce me as the queen of Canadian comedy. I might be. You guys don't know, all right? #1 album on iTunes Canada. You can't check, all right? I have a gay wife. It's fine. No, it's not a big deal. It's fine. The government in Canada just gives them to you. It's pretty sweet. No, I had to propose. It was expensive. My wife has never been in a relationship before. Yeah, she doesn't know I'm not the best, so I'd appreciate if you guys kept it quiet. Her entire understanding of love and romance is based solely on romantic comedies. Which is, yeah, it's sweet, right? But it's also exhausting, right? Because every time she goes to the airport, I have to run after the cab, bang on it, and beg her to stay. You know, I'm like, I can't keep doing this. The bar's too high. I'm Jewish, and my wife is Muslim. Cool. We get a tax credit for that in Canada, so it works out for us. She's also Palestinian. Okay, it's fine. Yeah, okay. This is how our family reacted. It was very tiny wedding, very small. It was just me, her, and a UN peacekeeper, right? That was the whole party. I moved into her place. Yeah, she didn't want me there. But I moved in anyway. You know how we do, the Jews. Okay, good. It's been tense, the Middle East. You guys follow the news? Uh-huh. Okay. Israel, Palestine. Who wants to talk about it? When I say Israel, you say Palestine. Okay, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. Relax over, you guys. No, it hasn't been tense in our marriage, not for that reason. And that's because my wife became gay for me. So the least I could do was tweet Free Palestine. You know, it's like, had a lot of Israelis upset with me on the internet when I tweeted Free Palestine. A lot of them had the same comment. They're like, if you're not in a bomb shelter right now, you can't have an opinion about what's going on. If you're not in a bomb shelter right now, you can't understand what's happening. I was like, you're right. I could never tweet at anyone underground. Like, I'm with Verizon. Like, I can barely watch Netflix in my above ground living room. Like, who is your provider? I did convert her, not to Judaism yet, just to gay, but you know, we do live in New York and she is in therapy, so almost Jewish, you know, we're getting close. It's been a fun relationship with her the whole way through. From the first night we got together, we were very drunk. It was very romantic. And as we were taking clothes off, she stopped me and she goes, you might see something you don't like. I know. Silent. I was like, did you not wax? Because I haven't either. You know, it's fine. We're both women. Okay, this is like 50% of the reason we do this. And she's like, no, that's not it. I have a tattoo. And I was like, is it a swastika? Like what? And she's like, no, it's the map of Israel, and it says Palestine over top in Hebrew letters. And I was like, maybe we could cover that up with a swastika. You guys are fun. I don't know if you guys are looking at me right now like a little confused. Like, I didn't know Mrs. Doubtfire had a daughter. I didn't write that joke. No. That was a comment a man left under one of my YouTube videos. And, the shitty thing about it is it's so funny, you know? Who knew men could be funny? I've just taken it. Is everyone doing well here? Are people good? Yeah. No, I know we're having a good time tonight, but like in general, are we? I don't know. No, I'm happy for you if you are. Some people are. Yeah, it's a loaded question. I agree. Because people don't, you know, they ask you how you are, and I don't always think they want to know. They don't. Like, it's a lot to, you know, so I've been trying to give off positive vibes. Like normal to positive. I don't think I'm selling it already. You guys, I've lost you. You know, I'm like, I'm okay, good. You know, it could be better. Okay, it could be worse. I was doing a show and the host asked how I want to be introduced. And I said, if you could just tell people I have a show tomorrow night called Sandwich. And he said, yes, absolutely, no problem. And then he walked out on stage and he said, your next act coming to the stage, very funny. She has a show tomorrow night called Sad Witch. And I was like, perfect. Absolutely fair. I've been crying in public. Anyone else? I mean, this is really one of the pastimes, one of the great pastimes in New York City. Really, it's Broadway. I was going to say Staten Island. It's the Statue of Liberty. Broadway, Staten Island. That's the whole thing. No, imagine, no. I did discover, though, there's one place that it's a little too much, even in New York, to cry in public, and that is at the eye doctor. I didn't mean to, but I went in there. I was already going. I was crying, and I go, you know, and then, you know, they put your chin in that, you know, gyno stirrup of the face, and I had to explain to the doctor that it wasn't a problem with my eyes. It was with my heart. And Sad Witch, how are we doing? Are we good? Okay. It's been a time. I know that some people have been doing well though. Like some people really took the pandemic to self-improve, leveled up when they came out, bettered themselves in some ways. No one here? Okay, everyone went dead silent. But people did get into shape. People got abs. I didn't even have close to abs before. I didn't know, like, what was the workout? That's what right? Because, like, everything was closed. Were people just like tearing down statues and dragging them to the river? Like what was... The argument that people make against taking down statues, like the racist ones, obviously, not like the Statue of Liberty. Although that would be a workout. She's thick. They say it erases history. It erases history, which is crazy to me, As a Jew doing comedy, what are the odds? Extremely high. I've never needed a statue of a Nazi to remember the Holocaust. Like, no Jews ever needed a statue of a Nazi. The Nazi. There's many of them. No one's needed a statue of a Nazi to remember the Holocaust. Like, what we do, what we do is we just bring it up in every single conversation. Oh, hello, Sheila. How are you? How are the children? Never again. Like, it's, I was saying never forget in that joke, and one night someone heckled me and was like, that's 9/11. I know. I was like, I'm so sorry, sir. I didn't mean to have the Holocaust appropriate 9/11. All right? It's like but I changed it. I listen to feedback. I do. Yeah. I'm not Dave Chappelle. No. I'm better than Dave Chappelle. Not a comedy, but as a person, perhaps. And that's holding me back in comedy. At the end of 2020, my gynecologist called me, and I should tell you, I'd gone to see her a few days before. It wasn't like she was going down the list, like, who's got insurance? I'm going to wish her and her labia a happy new year. And she's like, do you have a few minutes? And I'm like, I don't have any minutes. Like, it's not good when they call you, right? Like, on a holiday? No, it's not. It wasn't good. She told me I had cervical cancer. But I want you guys to know I don't have it anymore. It's fine. I'm cancer-free. It's all good. So don't worry. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much. I gave it to Rush Limbaugh. But the cancer does come back if you don't laugh at these jokes. That's science, the CDC said. I was very lucky. They caught it really early, and all I had to do was get a hysterectomy. That was the whole thing. And I went in for the surgery. It was feeling pretty confident about it. It was a beautiful morning in New York. It was sunny. The 2 Democratic senators for Georgia had just been confirmed, so the Senate had just gone Democrat. And it was the morning of January 6th, 2021. Very good alibi, all right? So I go in for the surgery, and I wake up around 6 p.m., and I can hear the nurses whispering about an insurrection. And I was like, put me back under immediately. Like, no, thank you. No, thank you. How wild is it to realize that my uterus was the only thing holding this country together? Girl boss, am I right? Yes. I know you guys are like, tell us more about the hysterectomy. Okay, all right, fine. So the way it works is they pulled my uterus out through my vagina. I know, yeah, that's how I know. I didn't even tear, not a stitch. Did a lot of Kegels beforehand. No. I asked the surgeon afterwards what my uterus was like. I was like, was it big? I don't know, what was it, And he said, actually, your uterus was quite petite. What? Petite? Are you kidding me? Petite? Oh my! I couldn't believe it. No one has ever called any part of me petite ever. A doctor? Are you kidding me? I was so excited. My mother was thrilled. Oh. She was like, Jessica, we could have taken your uterus shopping to Forever 21. So I don't have the uterus anymore, but I still have my ovaries. So what that means, is there any men here? Oh, there's you. Okay. I don't know. Sometimes they're like, especially the men are like, we want to know more about this. Okay. What this means is that I get my period, but I don't get my period. You know, like I don't bleed. I don't even need a panty liner. No, I don't even spot. Nothing. I know. Yeah. Also a little drier since it happened. They didn't warn me. All of the symptoms every month still. All of the symptoms, none of the evidence. That's what I'm living with. The bloated, the hungry, the horny, you know. So sensitive too. I'm a mega account under a Rachel Maddow tweet. Like, so nuts. And so much poo on your period as well. So much poo. Don't be quiet on me here. You know what I'm talking about. Nobody talks about this. I know. Are there people on straight dates? Sometimes where there's more straight people, the women are like, don't tell them we poo. Like, I barely admit to peeing once a week. What are you doing? Lesbian is selling us out. You know, so much poo on your period. I'm speaking truth to power up here. I don't care. Listen. It's like hangover poo after the greasy diner, but without the fun night out the night before. What is that? Being a woman is a nightmare. Honestly, it's beautiful, but we should not pay taxes at all. Sorry. I don't call myself a cancer survivor. Nobody's asking me to. But also, I don't really need it for comedy, you know? I'm already in a Jewish-Palestinian-Lesbian, Canadian lesbian marriage. You know, like, I don't need cancer survive. I also don't really feel like it's my word. You know, I don't know if anyone's gatekeeping cancer survival. I don't know if I made a big deal of being a cancer survivor comedian if, like, a woman would pop up covered in pink ribbons and Livestrong bracelets up to here, just like, no chemo, no radiation, keep it moving, Dolezal, you know, like. I don't really think it's my word. I feel like it would be a lot like, and I don't mean to gatekeep, but I will, and this is a dangerous thing to say here in Brooklyn, but I feel like it would be a lot like a woman who's exclusively dated men, but one time kissed a woman once and is very loud about being queer. You know, very, very loud about it. Like, if you haven't gone down on a woman for even 1 minute, like, have you earned it? Like, have you... I'm not saying oral sex is like chemo, okay? But... I got the cervical cancer from HPV. Anyone else? HPV? Okay. Yeah. I had it a long time, early adopter. I might be patient zero. I don't know anyone older with it. Maybe you guys were like, how old are you, Jess? All right, okay. Okay, this is where I'm at. Okay, when the HPV vaccine came out, it was too late for me. I already had it. Okay, all right. No one else born pre-peanut allergy, post-Cold War? No one in that bracket? I went to the gynecologist years ago in Montreal. I'm from the French part of Canada. That's why I'm hot. Thank you. Yeah. And he told me I had an irregular pap smear. That's what the Jews call it. It's stupid. And I was like, well, do I have HPV? He's like, everyone has HPV. I was like, fine, but do I have HPV? He's like, everyone in Montreal has HPV. I was like, fine, but do I have HPV? We went back and forth like this for 10 years. I never got an answer. It was free, but it's not a perfect system either. I hate to... There's a cost. Okay, it's quality. Okay, anyway, so I moved here. I went to this expensive lady gynecologist, and she confirmed that I had HPV. I'm like, okay. And she did this very invasive exam, which, like, after the exam, if I was, like, dating men or married to a man, she would have just said, don't have sex for a week. But she knows that I'm married to a woman, and I guess she panicked, because what she said was nothing in the vagina. Don't put anything in the vagina for a week. I don't know what you people do. Just don't put anything in the vagina for a week. I was like, what about my autographed picture of Kate McKinnon? That's where I keep it, lady. I was doing the math on this whole situation, and I realized that sex I had with one, several dozen, doesn't matter. Nobody's counting, nobody's judging. A few men, okay, whatever. 15 or 20 years ago, sex I had with men, okay, whatever. Who cares, Park Slope, okay? Doesn't matter, nobody's counting. 15 or 20 years ago, could have killed me today. Isn't that, I've been in a lesbian marriage a long time. Is that crazy? Listen, sex I had with one, several, doesn't, who cares? Nobody's counting. Nobody's judging men, 15 or 20 years ago. Could have killed me today. Are you guys getting what I'm saying? Are you guys buying what I'm saying? Are you picking up what I'm putting down, sir? Are you? Okay, some of you are getting, okay, I'm just gonna make it very clear. Okay, this is what I'm saying. What I'm saying is don't have sex with men. It kills. Okay, you guys get jokes. One man did not. He chased me outside of a comedy club in Manhattan onto the street, and he was very upset. He was on his period, and he was like, "You're getting up there with a microphone, and you're telling women do comedy. Wait, you're getting up there and you're telling people don't have sex with men. You're telling don't men sex. You're saying don't fuck, and you're saying don't penis and vagina men. What are you getting up? You're getting up there night after night. You're telling people don't intercourse. What do you? I was like, okay, sir, I am so sorry. Like, I did not realize you had sex with men, and so he didn't talk to me after that. It was good. I'm in therapy, thank you. Yeah, so don't have to worry, thank you. My wife, as I mentioned, also in therapy. At one point, I suggested couples therapy, which my wife took as a personal insult. Arabs, am I right? Oh, difficult to make peace with. No, I'm just... No, I'm kidding, not all of them. Just her, because she's Arab. Okay, my wife fought with the couples therapist. Actually, they had to get their own therapist. In fact, she didn't like Stephen because she felt he agreed with me, and so he was biased. He agreed with me and also objective reality. So it was a challenge. I knew we had to fire him when my wife went to his website, because she was mad. She's not one normally for looking things up or research. And she went to his website and came back and said, who is this guy? His whole bio is RuPaul quotes. I was like, you love RuPaul. That's why we have him. That's why I picked him for, And so what happened was, is that we worked together. She's also a comedian, so that's bad, obviously. But also, we worked together as a duo act. We didn't want to work together. It was a sacrifice we made for the fans. And also, no one was booking us alone. And then COVID hit, and it was very much like, did you send that email? And she'd say, I've been busy. And I'd say, well, I can see you. We're quarantined in a one-bedroom apartment. And you've been on your phone all day on Instagram looking at photos of Megan Thee Stallion. So and then things escalated a bit, and I'd say things like, what's wrong with you? And as it turned out, depression and anxiety, and not, as I had diagnosed, lazy. Laughter, the best medicine, but in my defense, I'm not a doctor. So there was a moment, a point at which where my wife wanted to go inpatient to a mental health facility, but she wanted to go somewhere sunny and not depressing. Arabs, am I right? With their sun and their desert. Okay. So I found her a nice place in Malibu, and it, with horses and yoga and Klonopin, and it was good. It was good. I don't know if you've ever had your wife in a mental health facility. Because my friends were very sweet, they were like, Jess, that's so supportive. this can't be easy for you. That's so nice you found her this place in Malibu. And I was like, yeah. And all of that was true. But there was also another unspoken part, at least that I felt, that was like, what did you do to her? You know, like, we're like, oh, where's your wife? Oh, she's in a mental health facility. Oh, interesting. Okay. Yeah, look at, she was normal before. You know what I mean? Like, how annoying was I to work with? How crazy did I drive this woman that she had to leave society and brush a horse's tail on ketamine? And like, I just like... No, the truth is they didn't give her the ketamine because she kept asking for it. They're like, yeah, I think you want this too much. Klonopin, and that's it. Anyone ever just do a new 5 minutes on their special? Okay. So, look, I know not all of what my wife has been through mental health-wise is my fault. It's not all my fault. You know, she's, as I mentioned, Palestinian, so there were some deeper, okay, hilarious, I know, but, you know. I mentioned because there are obviously some deeper-seated trauma, I don't know why I'm smiling, deeper-seated traumas that were triggered. War and whatnot, War and Whatnot, the title of my next album, War and Whatnot. So I know it wasn't all my fault. It was also my people's fault. So you guys didn't ask, but I did lose my virginity to a white man with dreadlocks. And listen, it was the 90s, okay? In my defense, there was no blogs or even internet. Like, how could we know what was right and wrong? There was no... It was your friend group. That's all you had. That's all you... He's bald now, okay? It all worked out. It's fine. I do actually identify as bisexual. Thank you. Everyone take your seats. It's so brave in this basement in Brooklyn in 2023. I don't really talk about being bisexual anymore, mostly just because I've been in a lesbian marriage for so long and no one's asking. But I did used to talk about being bisexual a lot when I started comedy 12 years ago, all right? Back when it was something, kids. That's how much time has passed. It went from being edgy comedy material to like, maybe I'm excluding non-binary people. Like, I don't know how that... There might be some young people here that don't know, but there was a time at which not everyone was queer, all right? And... if you can imagine, people used to thank me for talking about bisexuality on stage. They felt seen. And now they're like, Jess, actually, I think it's pansexual. Like, how? And let me say, I never meant to exclude non-binary people, okay? Especially not the androgynous ones, the hottest ones. Like, why would I? It's just that 12 years ago, non-binary people had not been born yet. So it's like, what do you want from me? I do think that some people still don't think bisexuality is a real thing. Not like obviously here, but maybe on Staten Island or something. And here's my theory, right? Like I think because like gay people can typically look back at their childhood or their adolescence and they can point to a moment that was like undeniably gay, right? Like I was born this way. Like when I dressed up as Scully from the X-Files for 4 Halloweens in a row. Okay, that was very lesbian, right? There was a boy in high school who, when everyone went around and said their celebrity crush, he said Anne Hathaway. That's gay. That is a gay boy pretending to be straight. No straight guy in high school was picking Anne Hathaway from the Princess Diaries. No. But I did have an early bisexual moment that I'm going to share with you guys. It's a bit vulnerable, and you guys have been a tremendous audience. But you know, don't be weird now. Don't abandon me. You know, I'm not in a great space. So like this is. So there's an age at which you might be masturbating, right? You don't know it's like masturbation. You know what I mean? Women, you know, you just discover it, right? Like you can just happen upon, right? You get on the bike at the arcade, boom, it happens. You spend so much money at the arcade. Sometimes you just discover it by accident, like Einstein and relativity. I don't know how. I'm assuming like that. You know, like it's just, some of you, okay, you're like, oh, no, I don't know what you're talking. Okay, maybe you bump into the corner of the couch in your family living room. And it happens and you're like, do I just keep going back to the corner of that couch in my family living room? Is that okay? I feel like, is this bad? I don't know. My sister's watching. Is that wrong? Like, she's traumatized. So there's an age at which you might be masturbating. You don't know it's masturbation. And also, very normally, sleeping with teddy bears. Guys, I told you, don't leave me here. Those ages could be the same in a normal way. I slept with 2 teddy bears, a boy teddy bear and a girl teddy bear. And the boy teddy bear was named Cinnamon Buns. And I used to use his snout. I'd use his little, and I'd just like, oh, just fuck his little face. Oh, Cinnamon Buns. Yes. Poor Cinnamon Buns. He hadn't consented, but you know, we didn't know about consent then. And his snout was flat by the end, inverted even. After I would come, like I didn't know I was coming. You don't know you're coming. Right? You don't know. I'm being so disgusting. You don't know you're coming. But you know you're done instinctively. You know it's over and you want to go to sleep. And you know you don't want cinnamon buns anymore. So I would take him and I would throw him on the ground. And I would pick up my girl teddy bear, Betty Cuddles, clean and pure, snout intact. And I would hold her and love her the rest of the night. And I think that was a very bisexual moment. We exist. Thank you. Why is it that the people that are the most fluid about gender and sexuality and monogamy are the most determined to put you in an astrological box? Okay, I'm a Taurus. Guilty. My Taurus hive. I rise up. No, what am I saying? Listen. I've been on Twitter too much. Still, why am I there? I'm a Taurus, but I'm a lot of other things, all right? Based on how I grew up, the experiences that I've had. My best friend is non-binary, identifies as a dyke, is polyamorous, and gluten-free. The last part isn't part of it, but it is. It's Deanne, you know. Okay. Every time I talk to them, they're like, what time were you born? I'm like, I don't know. It was a long time ago. I don't remember. They want to calculate my astrological chart. You know, my sun, my moon, Don't pretend like you don't know what these things are. My sun, my moon, my rising. There is so much math involved in these astrological charts. Do you know how many women we've lost to STEM? Because they're so busy doing the math on these astrological... We could have had a female Elon Musk by now. Okay? We could have had a Shilon. Like, nightmare, but why not? You know? I've asked my parents what time I was born. They don't know. That's the end of the information trail. What do you want me to do? Call up the hospital I was born at under socialized medicine? You think you get a birth certificate? No. And call them up. Be like, yeah, do you mind going through your records? I need to know what time I was born. No, it's not for any official reason. It's that my best friend doesn't have a complete picture of who I am. We've watched porn together, this friend and I. Okay? Have you watched porn with a platonic friend? It's awkward. No? I mean, gay guys, maybe you do that. I know, straight guys, I actually don't know. Maybe you're just like, there's no football on, so we jerked off together. I don't know what you do. It was an accident. There was a viral video going around at the time. It was, it was supposed to be funny. You share those. It was pterodactyl porn. Yeah. If you don't know and you want to look it up, pterodactyl has a P in front of it. Sometimes people don't know that. Pterodactyl. Okay? Here's the problem. It was not funny. No. It was just porn. It was a straight up gangbang. That's it. We were watching. Yeah. They were dressed as pterodactyls. But they were not acting like pterodactyls at all. They just couldn't high five on account of their wings. I was having dinner with my mom and stepfather, and my mother was asking me about this friend of mine from the pterodactyl porn. That's not how my mother knows them. That's how you know them. And saying, how is she, you know? And I said, and I just hadn't yet explained that they go by they, them now, and that they're non-binary. And it just had never been the moment. My friend wasn't there. And I just didn't feel like explaining. But finally, you know, it was an okay night. And I decided to explain it and to say, you know, Deanne goes by they, them. And my mom didn't miss a beat. It was like, actually, no problem. She was like, oh, of course, Jessica. We need to accept men that become women and women that become men and people that are nothing. Okay? If that's what makes them happy. We cannot be racist. Black Lives Matter. I'm like, oh my God, what infographic? I was trying to relate to them, you know, because my mom is 70, but my stepfather's like 91. I know, he's like asleep at this point. We're just whispering in his ear, put us in your will. And no, but they were into it. They were into the conversation. I think they were just like, as long as she's not talking about Israel, no problem, you know? Top surgery. Oh, they didn't get the nipples put back on? No problem. Interesting. Okay. I was trying to relate to them and say that, you know, we're all old in this way. Like, I didn't grow up with gender-neutral pronouns, and I know you didn't either, and we're all learning, we're all growing, you know, because I'm cisgendered, and that's when my mother lost it. She was like, what is that, Jessica? I cannot take one more thing from you. Oh my God. I want to talk about, there's a group of people who, in 2023, even in liberal cities, like especially actually in progressive places, don't feel like they can be open about who they are. And that is people who were born rich. The kind of people who, when pressed, will say, I'm comfortable, right? Which is code switch for, I'm rich, bitch. You know, that's... And as a member of the LGBTQIA community, let me say, I know that we can't help how we're born. And also that living in the closet, even if it is a large walk-in with custom cabinets, LED lighting, and closets within that closet, is still no way to live. If someone doesn't want to talk about money, they have a trust fund 100% of the time. And I believe that we should encourage these people to be open about it. I think we should make them feel good about being transparent, right? Because when they're not, it just reinforces a system where people who don't own their own home are made to feel like it's because they bought too many Jordans and avocado toasts. And there is no amount of coffee you can make at home that will get you a mortgage. It just doesn't add up. And so if we want to dismantle the system, and I know that we do, Park Slope, Brooklyn, I know that we do. I think we need to make people who were born rich, people with rich parents, I think we need to make them feel good about it. Like, if they're honest, they're still going to be liked by, for example, laughing at their jokes tonight. Like mine. A person who will pay every single one of you to make her feel like she killed. There's nothing I want to talk about less than money. I never want to talk about money, and that is because I have it. And it gets worse that I didn't make it. And if I had made it on my own, I'd be the first person to show it off. Bottles, models, logos, labels. Instead of inviting people to the park for another godforsaken picnic, asking a bunch of 30 and 40-year-olds to lower themselves with their newly bad backs onto a blanket to cut hard cheddar off a charcuterie board with a plastic knife, okay? But these are the people we celebrate, the self-made, the people that got rich from nothing, you know? Started at the bottom now. We love that. They're the ones we want to, they should show us your crib. Let's fucking go. Let's see that Lamborghini. These are the people we should be quietly shaming. Yeah. Pulling themselves up by their bootstraps against considerable odds, making the rest of us look bad. All right? I know you guys are like, oh, Jess, that's a great story. Yeah, a great story that reminds everyone that capitalism can be awesome. I don't think so. Not on my watch, all right? Listen, I know I'm not the only comedian in New York with rich parents. But I am the least successful. And there's a lot of focus on Nepo babies and trust fund kids not earning their success. But what about those of us who, despite every advantage, have still managed to achieve nothing? Thereby leaving more room for people to be successful who really need it. Where's our New York Magazine story? Yeah. No, I would rather talk about anything but money. I would rather get up here and engage earnestly with Jordan Peterson's ideas. Like I think it would be better if I told you I had committed a murder. I think, yeah. If I confessed to murder right now, you guys would be like, at least she's not a trust fund kid. She's just a hardworking female murderer making her way in a male-dominated murderer world. What does she even own, a shed? She can't have a bank account. They'll trace it back to the murders. I don't know if this is going to make it better, but I do want to clarify that I'm like White Lotus rich, not like Succession rich. My mother, also born rich. I am second generational rich. I inherited it from her genetically, and I realized my mother was rich. I remember the day. It was when she asked me why Dolly Parton's song is called 9 to 5. Why those hours specifically, Jessica? I want you guys to know that I don't like rich people either. And yeah. And, and so I don't hang out with rich people. And it would be easier if I did, because then we would all just be rich. But everybody I know is poor. Everyone I know is poor, and I don't have anyone to ski with. So I think we should add another symbol to the LGBTQIA plus rainbow. I think it should be LGBTQIA plus $sign. And, I know you guys are like, oh, but there's a lot of terrible people who have rich parents. Yes, but there are also a lot of horrible queers, all right? So what's your point? I know this is going to come as a shock to everyone here, but I haven't always been a hilarious comedian. I I know. Your minds are blown. You weren't born with a microphone. So I used to be a lawyer. Yeah, this is a decision I made with my life. I used to be a war crimes lawyer with the United Nations. Yeah, until I decided it was time to get serious. And here we are. Life is short, you know? Sometimes you've got to look yourself in the mirror and say, Jess, where's this whole being a UN war crimes lawyer thing really going to get you? Sure, bringing war criminals to justice is a great way to kill time and hang out with your friends. But maybe it's time you put your law degree to use bailing degenerate comics out of minor drug offenses. That was every conversation when I started comedy. It was like, Jess, I'm having a little bit of a legal issue. Okay, did you commit a genocide? Because if not, I cannot help you. It's not my area. I don't always like to bring up my former career. I did have a woman heckle me once. She yelled, "You should have stuck to law." I know. Yeah, I was like, you don't know how bad at law I was, lady. So I really showed her. A lot of people have asked me over the years, how does one go from law to comedy? And number one, I don't recommend it. But number two, I would say, and I've now thought about this deeply, that a very important part, an essential ingredient, is that you decide for yourself, that you really make peace within yourself with the fact that dignity, not for you. You don't need it, you don't care for it, you like to be judged, you're happy to be embarrassed, okay? A lot of you I've harassed to come to the show multiple times. Doesn't faze me. I was taking a flight from Montreal, where I'm from, as you know, to The Hague, where I was working as a war crimes lawyer with the United Nations. And when I got there in the morning, it was an overnight flight. I had to go straight to work, so I really needed to sleep on the plane. And a friend of mine helped me out and gave me some Ativan. I'd never done Ativan before. Yeah, I don't know if Ativan's like a drug you do, you know? We were like, let's do some Ativan this weekend. It's Burning Man, you know? But my policy with new drugs was always to be in a comfortable place with trusted people, all right? Not in the middle seat of economy on a Dutch airline. I don't know if we have any Dutch people here. Okay, good. Yeah, not a warm or generous people. You guys know the expression going Dutch? Yeah. Nobody's treating splitting the bill right down the middle. Nobody's treating anyone over there. People think it's feminism. It's not. It's Holland, okay? You guys know bring your own booze BYOB party, bring your own booze parties, right? Fun, good over there. Sometimes they also tell you to bring your own chair. They won't give you a chair. This is what you guys know the expression youth is wasted on the young? Okay, it's not about the Dutch, but I've adapted it to say good looks are wasted on the Dutch. Very tall, very athletic, very gorgeous people. Zero sex appeal, nothing. Nothing. Do you know what a short, hairy Italian man would do with that height and bone structure? It's not a fair world, okay? There's not a lot of people you can make fun of anymore. But the Dutch, still squarely on the board, okay? A lot of countries have their stereotypes, right? You go to France, you're like, I'll feel fat and get treated like a little bitch. This is why I came to Paris, okay? But people think you go to Holland, everyone's gonna be so chill, right? Because they've had legal weed and prostitution forever. The least chill people. The most, this is what they say all the time. This is the main thing you hear. It's not possible. It's not possible. It's not possible. You're like, can I get tomato on my sandwich? They're like, it's not possible. You're like, but you have tomato for other sandwiches. Like, I don't think you understand what within the realm of possibility means. So I'm not well. I mean, obviously I'm not well, but I wasn't well on the flight. The Ativan started coming on like some bad ecstasy I'd taken in the late 90s that I'd bought from a guy with a wallet chain. Don't buy drugs from a guy with a wallet chain, okay? If he can't keep track of his wallet, what is he doing, all right? He's already got a cargo pant pocket for it. It's mittens on a string, okay? For the Canadians. I puke in my bag. That's my nightmare, to puke in front of people. No, thank you. Oh my God. I do not want to be perceived in that moment at all. Do not follow me into the bathroom at a party and hold my hair back. Never. Leave me, like I want to be like a cat that knows that it's dying and finds a porch to crawl under and die with some privacy. Never. I would rather you all see my cum face right now. And it's not a good one. All right? My wife has told me I look like Bill Cosby eating pudding. Right after I puked, I immediately had diarrhea. And I threw off my seatbelt to make a break for the bathroom. But yes. I should tell you, we were still on the runway. The plane had not taken off yet, so all the flight attendants are like, no, you can't get up. But then they take one look at my face, and they make a collective decision for the welfare of the aircraft to let me go to the bathroom. Socialism. I get to the bathroom just in time. I pull my pants down. I'm so relieved. What's coming out of me? Is it pee? Is it poo? Who knows? It's liquid. It's liquid for sure. But I'm so glad I'm there. And then within seconds, my field of vision starts filling up with black dots, which I know means I'm going to faint. Because I used to smoke, when I smoked weed, when I was learning to smoke weed when I was a teen, I'd hold it in so long that I'd cut the oxygen to my brain and I'd faint and my high friends would have to take care of me. So I know I only have seconds before I'm going to faint in this bathroom, and that means that they're going to break down the door. They're going to have to break down they can't take off with a girl in the bathroom, okay? We're on the runway. They're going to have to break down the door and drag me out of there with my naked diarrhea ass, okay? I thought puking in front of people was bad. Guess what? I have a whole new nightmare I hadn't previously considered. So I quickly pull my pants up, no wipe, no zip, and I crack the door open, hit the ground, out cold, feet in the bathroom, body in the plane, all right? I come to, there's a doctor. They've called for a doctor, there's one. They're trying to get me off the plane, okay? I'm like, no, you can't. You can't. I must get to The Hague. I am a war crimes lawyer with the United Nations. Milosevic is waiting for me. That's a deep cut. Okay, anyway. They let me stay on the plane. The plane takes off. I'm in my seat. I fall asleep, thank God. But then midway over the Atlantic, the lava lamp that is my body is plugged back in. I wake up and I puke in my neighbor's bag. Not her purse, her puke bag. They only give you one, the Dutch. Okay, so I puke in her bag. I fill it right to the top, right? Like a Guinness where you're like, is it gonna go over? Is it not gonna go over? You know what I mean? I know. And I only had seconds to draw the clover with my finger in the top of it. Before I suddenly had diarrhea again. Because this is apparently what my body does at this point, is just puke with a diarrhea chaser. And I know. So I'm running to the bathroom and I get there just in time. And what's coming out of me, the pressure of what is coming out, I could have restained an old deck. Honestly, the pressure, I know. Some audiences laugh more, some are more grossed, and you guys are really more on the gross and the funny. My field of vision immediately starts filling up with black dots again. And I know I only have seconds before I'm going to faint, and they're going to have to break down the door and pull me out of there with my naked diarrhea. So I'm like, I've come this far. What in the deja vu is this? How am I in this situation? I know I have seconds, so I quickly pull my pants up again, no wipe, no zip. I crack the door open, hit the ground. Feet in the bathroom, body in the chalk mark outline from before. Okay? Some people have seen this twice. Some people have been in their seat, reading their in-flight magazine, minding their own business, seen a woman go into the bathroom, and not 7 seconds later, maybe allergic to her own reflection in the mirror, come out, hit the ground in the same place. I'm very ill. Like, I need to, they're gonna put me in business class. I need to lie flat, obviously. Not the Dutch. That's why they're such a tall, athletic, strong people. They've killed off the weak ones, like me. You know what they said. It's not possible. So I went back to my seat and I collected my things and I went to the back of the plane and I lay down on the floor behind the last row of seats and the wall. I crawled under there like a cat, looking to die under a porch with some privacy. And as I was lying under there, my head on my rolled up coat, I had a minute to consider my circumstances and I realized I could do stand-up comedy. Thank you guys so much for being here. I appreciate it so much. Oh, this is... It's cinnamon buns. It's cinnamon buns. Thank you to Union Hall. Thank you to 800-pound girl. Thank you to Deanne Smith. Thank you to Mark Malecki who made this beautiful backdrop. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much for being here. You all want, listen, think of me when you use, okay, all right. I wanted them to drop down from the ceiling, but the ceiling's right here and it's not that kind of a production. So, thank you all so much for being here. I really appreciate it. Have a good night, everyone. I do want you to know it was sold out the first show, and so yeah, it's already in the can. And now, fuck it, this is a very expensive open mic, and that's pumping some fake laughs from the first show. Okay, whatever. So listen, wait till you see this. It's gonna sound like Madison Square Garden. Technology, my friends. Technology. We got a lot of stuff on the early one. I won't put you through. I'll do. Okay. We won't get into the marriage stuff. It's been. You want? Oh. Guys, but we worked together as a duo act, which we didn't want to do. We didn't want to work together. It was a sacrifice we made for the fans. Okay. Yeah, and also we weren't getting booked alone. It was you. You people destroyed my marriage. Are you laughing now? No, I'm just kidding. You know, when I see photos of Megan Thee Stallion, because of course I like Megan Thee Stallion and I follow Megan Thee Stallion, obviously. That's the main thing you know about me, I'm sure. But Megan Thee Stallion will have posted a picture and I'll catch it right away. It's been up for seconds. My wife's right there with a like. I've never seen a picture of Megan Thee Stallion without my wife's like. Bonus content for the late show. This is where I'm at in comedy now too. I fucked the stool. It took me years. I fucked the stool in comedy now.